Hello everyone, it's DA here. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you are doing amazing. Today I want to talk to you guys about my latest Colossus build. Don't worry, I will be talking about other classes once I have mastered them, and I will be doing a full guide for them as well before I do their own builds. This is something that I actually noticed once I started entering the Grandmaster difficulty. I realized that I wasn't really able to just walk up to enemies as I used to be able to do in maybe hard level or sometimes in Grandmaster 1. Therefore, my previous techniques of the lightning coil and the flamethrower became almost useless. Now, of course, if you have the legendary versions of these items, it can be a little bit better, but still, it kind of renders it almost useless. What changes for me is that lightning coil and flamethrower combo is for close combat, and it is great for clearing ads, but once you run out, it's over with. This is why it's almost suicidal. I'm a Colossus, but unless I'm pulling a teammate out of danger, I don't like getting close. Once you get stun locked by a boss or an enemy, the Colossus is basically done for. You find it hard to even move or get out of there. So I decided that I have to switch things up. And once you start doing Grandmaster 2, you will realize that you have to change your playstyle. And if you even look at enemies the wrong way, they will melt you or you risk getting clapped. So I had to switch to the firewall siege artillery combo. And this is something that a lot of people have been suggesting for me for a while now. So I decided to try it out and I actually love it. So I ended up doing an entire build around it. What makes Firewall ideal is the fact that it leaves a residue and the flames burn just a little bit longer. And that is actually very important. This means you can launch it out, get more enemies in it because they will have to walk into it. And if you have a masterworked version, it gives you an extra charge of the flamethrowers once you hit 2 enemies or more. And this is something that will occur every 20 seconds. Now, if you time it right, you will never run out of flames. And what makes this a great ability is that it is also a primer. So when I encounter a large group of enemies, I launch it in and immediately get another charge. And I just watch a large wall of enemies get primed and ready to detonate. Now, when we look at my detonator, I am using the siege artillery. With this one, I have a plus 100% charge on it. And this is something that I will suggest you should be looking for in terms of the rolls. Since we can get an extra charge out of our primer, that means an extra charge from the detonator will also be quite useful. This makes it really good because while your wall is still up, you can detonate twice or save it for the next wall. So that is quite important. So what I often do is I cast Battle Cry, then I build up the wall so that when enemies walk into it, I can detonate them. So Battle Cry first, build up the wall, and then detonate. When you are building for a Colossus, I will say that you should choose your primers and your detonators first. After you do that, then you choose the components that will benefit those abilities in your playstyle. You have to curate the components based on your primers and detonators most of the time. This way you become more powerful and also tough when it comes to going against high level enemies. For example, I have the catalytic overdrive, which will increase ability damage after detonating a combo for 20 seconds. If you put this into consideration with the firewall mod, this means that I can get a buff for every second charges of my ability. When you're facing difficult targets, this could be really good because you hit the ads with the first charge and then the second charge you go for the boss and you get that extra damage. And if you have the synchronized frame mod, you will also get a bonus damage on your second combo. So when we look at the overall build, the second set of combos are going to be crazy. So when you launch out the first attack, you go for the low level enemies. And then the second time you launch it out because you have that buff, you go for the bosses or the high level enemies and it does extra damage. And you even get tankier while doing this. So if you haven't checked out the flame wall artillery combo yet, then I will suggest that you go ahead and check it out because once you start reaching that high level enemies, it will be very important not to get too close to some of these bosses. But anyways, that's going to be it for me. Let me know what you guys think about this. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.